Prisoners of Tartarus, eternal torment. The void beneath the world. In the beginning, before the first dawn kissed the peaks of Mount Olympus, there was the void. And from that void, a place was born that even the gods of light fear to mention. We call it Tartarus. To understand Tartarus, you must understand that it is not merely a prison. It is a primordial force, a sentient darkness, situated as far beneath the underworld as the earth is beneath the heavens. It is said that if you were to drop a bronze anvil from the sky, it would fall for 9 days and 9 nights before reaching the earth. And if you dropped that same anvil from the earth, it would fall for 9 more days and 9 more nights before striking the floor of Tartarus. Imagine a place wrapped in a triple layer of night, surrounded by a wall of solid bronze that hums with the vibrations of 1,000 screams. This is the dumping ground of the cosmos. It is where the shadows go when they have committed crimes so heinous that the regular halls of Hades cannot hold them. As we descend tonight into this abyss, remember, in Tartarus, time does not heal. It only provides more room for the repetition of agony. Chapter 1. Sisyphus, the Triumph of Futility. Let us begin with the most famous resident of these sunless depths, King Sisyphus of Corinth. Sisyphus was a man of legendary cunning, a king who believed that human intellect could outsmart the divine order of the universe. His crime was not a single act, but a series of defiance. He cheated death itself. When Zeus ordered Thanatos, the personification of death, to chain Sisyphus in Tartarus, the king played a trick. He asked Thanatos to demonstrate how the chains worked, and in doing so, he trapped death in his own shackles. For days, no one on earth died. Old men suffered but could not pass. Soldiers were mangled in battle but remained breathing. The natural cycle was broken. Eventually, Ares, the god of war, freed death, and Sisyphus was dragged to the abyss. But even then, he had a plan. He told his wife not to perform his funeral rites, leaving his soul wandering the banks of the Styx. He used this neglect to trick Persephone into letting him return to the world of the living to punish his wife. Once back, he stayed for years, laughing at the gods from his sun-drenched palace. But no one laughs forever in the ears of the fates. When Sisyphus was finally taken back to Tartarus, his punishment was crafted to mirror his life, a constant intellectual struggle that leads to nothing. He was given a boulder, a massive, jagged stone of black basalt, and told to roll it up a steep, crumbling hill. If he could reach the very top, he would be free. Imagine the silence of Tartarus broken only by the heavy, rhythmic grunts of the fallen king. Every muscle in his back screams. His fingernails are torn to the quick by the rough stone. His lungs burn with the stale, sulfurous air. Step by step, for centuries he pushes. He is inches from the summit. He can see the peak. And in that moment, the moment of his greatest hope, The boulder shifts. A cruel, invisible force pushes back. The stone rolls down, gathering speed, crashing back into the valley of shadows. Sisyphus stands at the top, his hands empty, his heart hollow. And then he turns around. He walks back down. He begins again. This is the essence of Tartarus. The hope of completion is the sharpest part of the blade. Chapter 2. Tantalus, the architect of despair. Deep in a lake of cool, shimmering water stands King Tantalus. To a passerby, it might look like a moment of peace, but for Tantalus, it is a specialized hell. Tantalus was once a favorite of the gods, invited to dine at the table of Zeus. He tasted nectar and ambrosia, the food of immortality, but the privilege rotted his mind. He began to steal the divine food to show off to his mortal friends. He whispered the secrets of the gods to those who had no right to hear them. His final act of hubris was the dinner he hosted for the Olympians. To test if the gods truly were all-knowing, he murdered his own son, Pelops, boiled him in a cauldron, and served him as a feast. The gods knew instantly. Demeter, mourning her lost daughter, was the only one who accidentally took a bite of the shoulder. The rest recoiled in horror. Zeus struck down Tantalus and rebuilt Pelops with an ivory shoulder, but for the father there would be no rebirth. In Tartarus, Tantalus is submerged in water up to his chin. He is consumed by a thirst that feels like fire in his throat. Yet every time he bows his head to drink, the water recedes into the earth, leaving nothing but dry, cracked mud. Above his head hang branches heavy with the most exquisite fruits, shining pomegranates, ripe figs, and sweet pears. When he reaches out his trembling hand to pluck one, a sudden wind gusts, snatching the branches just out of his reach. He is surrounded by life, but defined by death. He is the guest who can never eat, the man of the lake who can never drink. He is the namesake of our word, tantalize. In the silence of the abyss, Tantalus is the eternal reminder that those who seek to consume the gods will find themselves consumed by their own hunger. Chapter 3. The Danaids, the Leaking Souls. Listen closely, and you might hear the sound of running water. Not the water of a river, but the frantic splashing of 50 women. These are the Danaids. They were the 50 daughters of King Danaus, forced into marriage with the 50 sons of his rival brother. On their wedding night, under their father's orders, 49 of them drew daggers and murdered their husbands as they slept. Only one, Hypermnestra, spared her groom out of love. For the 49 sisters, Tartarus offered a labor of absolute vanity. They are tasked with filling a massive stone basin with water. If they fill it to the brim, their blood guilt will be washed away. But there is a catch. The vessels they carry are riddled with holes, and the basin itself is porous as a sponge. They run back and forth, their white robes stained with the gray dust of the underworld. They pour, but the water vanishes before it can even settle. It is a punishment of wasted effort. In life, they cut short 50 paths of destiny in a single night of violence. In death, they are forced to spend eternity trying to hold on to something that cannot be held. Their agony is the realization that no matter how fast they run, they can never fill the void they created. Chapter 4: Ixion, the Fiery Wheel of Ingratitude. High above the lake of Tantalus, a streak of fire cuts through the darkness. It is Ixion, the first kinslayer in human history. Ixion murdered his father-in-law to avoid paying a bride price, a crime so foul that no mortal priest would purify him. Zeus, in an act of strange mercy, brought Ixion to Olympus. But Ixion did not respond with gratitude. Instead, he tried to seduce Hera, the queen of heaven. Zeus, ever watchful, fashioned a cloud into the likeness of Hera. Ixion, blinded by his own lust and ego, fell into the trap. From that union, the race of centaurs was born, monsters of half man, half beast. For his betrayal of the laws of hospitality and his assault on the divine, Ixion was cast into Tartarus. He is bound to a winged wheel of fire. His arms and legs are chained to the spokes with unbreakable bonds of adamant. The wheel spins eternally, carried by fierce, unholy winds through the darkest reaches of the abyss. As he spins, he is forced to chant, "Be unceasingly grateful to your benefactors." Ixion is the son of Tartarus, a burning, screaming star of regret. He is the warning to all who mistake mercy for weakness. In the stillness of the deep, the whirring of his wheel is the heartbeat of divine justice. Chapter 5: The Titans, the Forgotten Kings. We must move deeper still into the foundation of the abyss, where the walls are thickest. Here lie the Titans. These were the elder gods, the rulers of the Golden Age, led by Kronos. They were not puny mortals like Sisyphus. They were elemental forces. When Zeus and his siblings overthrew them in the 10-year war known as the Titanomachy, they did not kill them, for a god cannot truly die. They buried them. Imagine the great King Kronos, who once ruled the stars, now sitting in a cell of absolute silence. There is no light here, no wind, just the weight of the entire world pressing down. The Titans are the original prisoners. Their presence in Tartarus is what gives the place its gravity. They are the reminders that power is fleeting, and that even the highest throne can become the lowest dungeon. The Hecatoncheirlers, the 100-handed giants, stand guard over their bronze doors. They never sleep, they never blink. They ensure that the chaos of the old world never rises to challenge the order of the new. Chapter 6: The Psychology of Tartarus. As we conclude our descent, we must ask, why does Tartarus exist? It is not merely for revenge. The Greeks believed in a cosmic balance. For every action of hubris, there must be an equal reaction of weight. Tartarus is the shadow cast by the light of Olympus. It is the place where the ego is finally, painfully stripped away. Sisyphus, Tantalus, the Danaids, Ixion, they all shared one flaw. They believed they were above the laws of the universe. They believed they could trick, steal, or force their way into a reality that did not belong to them. In Tartarus, they are given exactly what they sought, but in a form that destroys them. Sisyphus wanted to control his path. Now he has one path forever. Tantalus wanted to feast with gods. Now he is at a feast he can never touch. The air in Tartarus is heavy with the scent of ozone and ancient dust. It is a place of absolute memory. In the world above, we forget, we move on, we heal. But in the abyss, every moment of the crime is as fresh as the moment of the punishment. Conclusion: the echoes of the abyss. The sun has set on our journey through the deepest pit of Greek mythology. As the gray mists of the underworld rise to meet the night, the stories of Tartarus remain as a chilling echo. They remind us that our actions have weight, that our choices echo in the dark, and that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. Perhaps Tartarus is not a place beneath the earth. Perhaps it is a state of mind, the feeling of rolling a stone that will never stay, of thirsting for what we cannot have, of running in circles to fill a hole in our own souls. Listen to the wind outside your window. Is it just the air, or is it the distant spinning wheel of Ixion? Is it the sigh of Sisyphus as the stone begins to roll? The gods are silent now, but the abyss never stops speaking. Sleep now if you can, but remember, the bronze gates are always open for those who believe they can outrun their fate.